Good afternoon. Today we're making roast turkey, mac and cheese, candy yams, and string beans. So I'm going to start with the turkey first. Well, I have a turkey breast. I didn't want to do a whole turkey because we all don't eat. I like turkey breast. So, and what I did. Let me get my gloves. I got my gloves. And I have the water on for the macaroni. Okay. And I have the oven on at 350. So, what I did last night, I marinated the turkey breast and I put some butter on it. But it's supposed to be a lot of butter on it, but came up in a plastic bag. So what I have some, it's in the butter, it has rosemary, thyme, sage, and some garlic with a stick of butter, melted stick of butter. And I have I made another base to spread on the turkey breast. And this is just butter and olive oil and the same rosemary, thyme, sage. I chopped it up. And that's what we're going to keep doing. We're going to keep basting the turkey. Okay? And I took the butter and I put it underneath the skin. Lift up the skin and you spread that butter underneath the skin. That's how you do it. Okay. So I'm gonna put some of this base in here. Put some more on. You want it. All right. When you're when you're going to season your turkey, you dry off the turkey with a paper towel. Make sure there's no liquid on there, so the seasoning can stick to your turkey. Okay. So now I'm gonna put it in the oven, and then I'm gonna do the candy yams. Okay. So now I'm gonna make the candy yams. So what I did this morning to get everything ready and started, I sliced up the sweet potatoes and I soaked it in water, okay, so it won't turn a color. So I'm going to drain out the water. Make sure you drain out all the water. Okay. So we drain out all the water. So I have a cup of white sugar, a quarter cup of brown sugar, I have cinnamon, nutmeg, ground clove, ginger, and cinnamon. Okay? So, and 1 stick of butter. So I'm going to put the butter on, melt it. Make sure you melt the butter. And I have my pan. Okay, so I'm going to have the butter melted. And the water is still boiling for the pasta. So after we do this, we're going to do the mac and cheese. Now we have to do stuffings and then string beans. Break down the butter so it can melt fast. So we're going to add the sugar. Add the sugar. Just want it to melt a little. So we're going to add the cinnamon, the ginger, the ground clove, and the nutmeg. So it's a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger and ground clove, and a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. And a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. You can't forget that vanilla. Okay, so this is, oh, that smells good. I wish you could smell it. So I'm going to pour it. Just pour it. Oh. Wash this off. Close my vanilla. And we're going to pour this all over. So we're gonna mix it up. And we're gonna cover it and let it bake for 45 minutes on 350. Okay? All right, so it's in the oven. Cover it and put in the oven at 350 for 45 minutes. In the oven. Oh, that smells so good. Okay, so now I'm gonna put the pasta on for the mac and cheese. So I'm going to put, this is all my ingredients for the macaroni and cheese. I have 2 boxes of elbow macaroni. I have pepper jack cheese. I have white cheddar cheese, and I have sharp cheddar cheese. I have 2 of the sharp cheddar cheese. Okay? I have 2 cans of milk. I have 1 box of Philadelphia cream cheese and 2 eggs. Okay? So I'm going to season up the water. With some salt. You have to season up your water, okay? And I'm going to I'm just going to do 1.5 box, not 2 boxes, just 1.5. Okay, that's half. So we're going to let that boil up for me. And we're just going to cook it for a little bit because it's going to cook in the oven. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to throw off the water because it's done. Because you don't want to cook the pasta all the way. And you don't want to rinse off. You don't want to make the pasta cold. You have to keep it hot. Make sure you drain off all the water. Okay. Okay, so now you're going to put cream cheese. Cream cheese is nice and soft. Okay, so I'm going to put some, sprinkle some adobo. Black pepper. And I'm going to add the milk now. Cheese. You really don't want to overcook the pasta because the pasta is going to finish cooking in the oven. You add cheese. Add the rest of the yellow cheese. And the pepper jack cheese also goes in. And if you wanted, you could make a roux, a cheese sauce. You add all of this pepper jack cheese. I'm going to steal one. I like my mac and cheese really cheesy. Add the rest of the milk. I'm gonna crack the eggs now. Put the eggs in. Beat the eggs. Beat the eggs. And you mix everything in. I'm gonna add some more of this white cheese. Some more of this adobo. Okay, so now I'm gonna pour it. I'm gonna pour it into the baking dish. Pour it into the baking dish. Okay. And you want all of that good stuff. Okay. Now we're going to add, and I use sharp cheese. Add the cheese. And you want to make sure you get all of the corners. Make sure everywhere is covered with cheese. I'm going to put a little bit of this white cheese on top. And this is also sharp white cheddar cheese. Okay, so we're good now. So now we're going to cover it and put in the oven. And this takes about 30 minutes to bake. You cover it and then let the cheese melt and then take off the cover and let's finish it off. You don't want to press down the cheese on it. I mean the foil on the cheese. You don't want it to stick to the foil. So that goes in the oven. And now we're going to do the stuffings and the string beans. I'm going to put this in the oven. Okay, so now I have the string beans. And these are French cut string beans. And it's already trimmed. And it's already washed. Okay? So I'm going to season my water. This makes your life a little easier. You don't have to wash them off. So the water's boiling and you put them in the water. And then we're going to saute. I got some onions and some garlic. Okay. Okay, let it sit there for a minute. Let it cook for a couple of minutes. You know, I like my vegetables. I keep telling you guys, I like my vegetables crunchy. I don't like it soggy. I gotta refill my salt. I'm going to thaw the water off, and I'm going to saute it in this pan and put it in this bowl. A little bit of olive oil and some butter. French style string beans. Okay, so I'm going to strain off. A little bit more. A couple more minutes. Then I'm going to strain the water off. It's already been cooking for 5 minutes. Okay, now I'm going to strain it off. Okay, so I'm going so what I'm doing to the peas, I'm shocking it with some cold water. So I'm stopping the cooking. We don't want it to continue to cook. So now I'm going to saute it with some onions and some garlic. So a little bit of olive oil. and about a tablespoon of butter. Okay. If you wanted to use red onions, you can, or you could buy shallots. And okay, that smells really good. Now I'm going to take my string beans. And some salt. So I put some salt and black pepper. Just a pinch of salt and a pinch of black pepper. And if you want to put some complete seasoning too, you can. That is hot. So that's the string beans. String beans is done. Okay. So we're going to... Okay, so I'm going to make this is the ingredients for the stuffings. I'm going to make the stuffings from scratch. And then I'm going to add some stovetop stuffings to it. Also, I'm going to take out the candy yams out of the oven. That should be done. And the mac and cheese is almost done. I'm going to take that out in a few minutes. Just want to see what this looks like. Look at that. Wow. That looks good. Candy yams. That looks great. Yep. Potatoes are done. That looks great. So I'm going to put it into this bowl, but I'm going to move it over. Candy yams are done. Done, candy yams. Oh, that is delicious. Candy yams are done. So I'm going to cover it with some plastic. I made a little mess. Okay, and put it out the way. Okay? Put it out the way. So now I'm going to, I don't want it to stay there so it gets sticky. Got my little sponge over here. Okay. Stickiness. So the candy yams is done. I'm going to check on the mac and cheese. The mac and cheese should be finished. It's all melty. And the turkey is not done yet. Mac and cheese is done. Look at that mac and cheese. The mac and cheese is finito. It's done. A little Spanish. So I'm going to move this out of the way. First, I'm going to put the candy yams some places. I need to thicken up the sauce. And I'm going to move the mac and cheese and put it in someplace else. But that looks good, right? Okay. So now I'm going to do the stuffings. Some olive oil. We're going to saute the onions and the garlic. Good enough. Make sure I'll leave it here just in case I need it. I'm going to use all the onions and all the garlic. Okay? Make sure you have enough oil. Wait for the pot to get hot. The kitchen is hot. Okay. So, onions. You have that onions going. The garlic. And I have scallions and I have fresh thyme. Okay? And I have chicken broth, I have the breadcrumbs, and stove stuffing. So I'm just going to mix it. For the time, just put the scallions, all the scallions. And this is not very hard at all. So I'm going to put some butter now. And I'm going to add the chicken broth. And you want to put enough liquid so the breadcrumbs will soak it up. So this is about a half a cup of broth. I'm going to put some more broth. And I'm using less sodium broth, chicken broth. Okay? So we want that to come to a boil. I'm going to add some black pepper. Let that liquid come to a boil. I'm going to show you the turkey as soon as this is finished. Okay. You don't need a lot of salt because the chicken, this has salt in it. So I'm just adding salt to this. Just have that come to a boil. And I have a bowl for my stuffings. I just want this to come to a boil. Okay. I'm going to add a piece of chicken. Oh, I'm going to add another piece. Chicken bouillon. It is hot in this kitchen. So with the turkey breast, it kept falling over. So I had to put a sweet potato and an onion to keep it up. So I'm going to add some that's about a cup, and I'm going to add this. To it. And you can always add more liquid. And then you can add your butter. About 2 tablespoons of butter. Unsalted butter, that's what I'm using. So I just used about a cup of, yes, this looks good. You don't want the stuffing to be too dry. Okay, stuffings are done. Now put this away. This away. That was a cup of plain breadcrumbs. And the stuffings is done. So put the stuffings in here. Stuffings is done. Okay, so I'm going to put plastic on this and move it to the side. And I'm going to look at the turkey. And tomorrow is Wednesday, and I'm making cream cheesecake, pumpkin cheesecake, and cream cheese pumpkin. I'm making cream cheese muffins, not pumpkin, muffins with pumpkin inside. So that's done. I'm going to take the turkey out. Okay. I just want to put this over here. So I would like you guys to tune in for tomorrow for those two things. I'll appreciate it. Very much. I love cooking. But I'm going to take out the turkey and see if I have to base it, how it looks. Oh, that's good. You don't want to get that steam. Woo. Look how that looks. So I'm going to base it. See, I put a sweet potato, so and that looks really good. I got a sweet potato and I have some onions on the side so to keep from falling. And I have a pop-up temperature when it tells me when it's ready. It's gonna pop up. You just want to keep basting it. Let me bore some holes in this potato. That's almost done. Okay. So I'm gonna cover this back and put it back in the oven. So about 11 o'clock it should be done. I'm gonna check the turkey now. Again. See what it looks like. See if it popped. Oh yes, it popped. So now I'm going to put it back in the oven, let it get a little darker. Okay. It popped. That's what we want. We want it to get a little dark, a little browner. Turkey has popped. So I'll put it in for next like another 20 minutes so I can get dark. Just want to get that darkness. I still have some of this seasoning. Okay, so I'm gonna put it back in the oven. And I'm gonna leave it in there for 10-15 minutes. Okay, I want to take the turkey out the oven. It looks good. Put some more of those juices on there. So I'm gonna let it sit for a couple of minutes before I slice it. I want the juices to settle. But it looks good. It looks delicious. Nice and brown. Nice and golden brown. It looks good. So I got my platter. Put it on here and I'm gonna slice it. Looks delicious. Take this out. This is a timer. Don't need a timer anymore. Keep brushing it. Put some of that nice oh, that is good too. I should make a little gravy. That is nice. Okay, let it sit for a minute. Okay, so I'm going to cut the turkey down. Oh. Ooh. Okay, the turkey is all sliced up. Okay, there's more to slice. There's more pieces to slice on there, but that's so good. So just the mac and cheese. Okay. Stuffings and string beans. And candy yams. So this is the Thanksgiving feast. So I'm going to put a little bit of everything on this serving plate. Okay. Some string beans. Right there. Okay. And I'm going to put some stuffings. That's the stuffings. Okay. And some of this wonderful, ouch, and the turkey breast is nice and tender. It's not dry or anything. So if you want to do like that, you can. And I'm going to some stuffings. I'm gonna use the same. Get another spoon. Some mac and cheese. You know. mac and cheese. That's it. So I'm going to make a little platter. You know, some mac and cheese. Some string beans. Some stuffings. You know, a little bit of everything. Some candy yams. Let's take some turkey. I also want to cooperate from there. Okay. Turkey. And some candy yams. And that's it. That's the plate. Okay. Thank you for joining me today. And tomorrow I'm doing cheesecake, pumpkin cheesecake, and pumpkin with, I kind of forget to get it right now. But thank you for joining me today. So join me tomorrow for our desserts. Our desserts is from 12 to 1.